All right, gang, good morning. Today is the day where I'm going to get it all done. Tons and tons of things to get accomplished today on this Tuesday morning, the 8th day of the month. Very good morning. It is 70 degrees. I'm J.D. Green. You got yourself aired out. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Brought to you by Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash. Don't forget, Ladies' Day is tomorrow, where you get a car wash, a complimentary car wash every Wednesday, and a free flower just for coming in and getting an oil change tomorrow. So Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash, one of our presenting sponsors, and has been for a long time. Granite City MMA, Giroux General Transport, Nelson Ace Hardware, William Ravies and BCK Real Estate, Green Mountain Mulch, Emsley the Florist, Yipes, Town of Berlin, Vermont Concrete Cutting, and North Star Fireworks, all with us this morning. We're going to be checking in with Rex Thompson from Donnybrook Fight Promotion here in just a little bit, and also Bobby Bartlett from State Farm, one of our new sponsors. And I know that insurance is a word that so many of us have been hearing for quite a while now. We're going to be talking about it this morning, and we're going to ask him what the one thing is that he wants people to know about insurance. So we're going to have an interesting conversation about that this morning, whether it's home, whether it's auto. Those policies right now for Central Vermonters are getting examined very carefully right now. We have a flood watch that's in effect through this evening for excessive rainfall and heavy at times. Let's see, pretty much all of northern New York, Clinton and Essex counties, all of central Vermont, northern Vermont, again, right on through this evening. And it's the obviously it's the flooding of creeks and streams and other low-lying and flood-prone locations, water runoff. These are all of great concern. Locally heavy rainfall, Roger saying up to 2 inches fell this morning and through the overnight. So rainfall amounts in the heaviest during thunderstorms, which could locally exceed an inch per hour. This is really important to know. Flash flooding, especially in areas that have already experienced it, as we know, can happen so quickly without any kind of warning. So we'd like to generally dive into weather in the morning as right out of the gate, because it's so important. It always is. Whether it's rain or heat or snow or whatever it is, we like to talk about the weather, obviously. Isolated thunderstorms this morning, depending on where you are, they could be popping up. Mainly this afternoon is the more widespread thunderstorm activity, 75 or so for the daytime high, and a chance of rain at about 90%. So there you go. Locally heavy rainfall, okay? Tonight, showers, thunderstorms, eventually going to be tapering off. We'll get down to about 60, and then it looks like tomorrow, Wednesday, partly cloudy later in the day, slight chance for a rain shower, 75. The bad news is, God, I hate to say bad news first thing in the morning, but it is what it is. Thursday and Friday are calling for rain as well. So both days. So yeah, not great news with regard to the weather. But hey, we're going to, last night went down into the basement to kind of double check and make sure the pumps are plugged in, and whether or not the basement was taking any water. And it was like, oh, man, it's been, I don't know, it's been a good week or so since I've been down in the basement. So I was I was not overly thrilled to be back in down there. But anyway, Don't forget, it's no secret. Raylene's podcast is going to be coming up a little bit later on today, and we will promo it right here on the Facebook page as much as possible, and I'll let you know what's exactly when that's going to be on the air. Also want to say before I forget, get over to Yipes because they've got these and they're selling them with 100% of proceeds going to Barrie Area Development. So they've got these decals, they've got banners, they've got bumper stickers, all kinds of stuff. So get over there and get to Yipes and tell them we sent you and grab one of these decals for the back of your car. And again, all proceeds going to go to Barrie Area Development, but they've got all kinds of stuff over there, banners and whatnot. It's pretty slick. We're going to check in with Rex Thompson here in just a little bit. Actually, we're going to check in with him right now. See if we can get him on. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
What's going on, man? Sorry, I was on the other line.
Hey, man. First off, good morning to you. Happy freaking Tuesday. How are you?
Is it Tuesday already?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know.
I'm pretty beat up.
I know. Listen, I want to obviously talk about the Battle in Barrie 11, which is coming up real soon. We're going to give ticket info. We're going to talk about some of the fighters here in just a little bit. But Rex, did you buy the pay-per-view for this past Saturday night, the Diaz Jake Paul fight?
Did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tell me did you think it was going to go? What was it? 9 rounds?
I think it went exactly the way I thought it was going to go.
Okay.
Nate Diaz is a 155-pound fighter. Jake Paul walks around well over 200 pounds. He had to cut down to get to 185. Nate Diaz has never fought at 185 pounds. He's not, I mean, he doesn't have knockout power, so he was never going to knock out Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And he was never going to be a more technical boxer than Jake Paul because he's not. That was the reason he wanted 10 rounds. He was hoping that Jake wouldn't have the cardio and he could get Jake in the later rounds. I mean, if you don't have a time limit, Nate Diaz kills all of us.
Yeah.
That's just the way.
Yeah.
There was rules. There was a time limit. I never expected Nate to win that fight.
You never expected Nate to win that fight?
Absolutely not. Why would he?
Wow.
What was he bringing that?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're training MMA, you have to train every aspect of fighting, and then you have to put it all together.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of boxing time, you have a little bit of jiu-jitsu time, you have a little bit of wrestling time. Jake Paul is dedicated for the past 6, 7, 8 years of going and training strictly boxing with some of the best boxers in the world. And you expect to do a 6-week fight camp and be as technical, you know what I mean? To be a boxer like him, not happening.
What do you think? What did you think of the behavior of each of these guys during the press conference leading up to it? I think it was a press conference of Thursday night.
I think everybody's gotten into that. It's to hype the fights, to make the big paydays. Conor McGregor started that stupid shit. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. They had to sell a fight. It's all about promoting. I'm a promoter, so I get it. Whatever. As long as they don't put their hands on each other, it's just words. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Talk shit about each other.
Do you think that that scuffle was staged?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, Nate Diaz is unpredictable, so you never know. That's why everybody flinches when he does that little feint. Everybody flinches because you never know what's going to happen with Nate Diaz.
Yeah. What do you think about what Conor McGregor is saying right now?
I think Conor McGregor is a clown. He is out chasing the money. He was on roids and supposed to fight Michael Chandler. Refused to take the the test. He's just someone that has to be in the spotlight, and he'll do whatever he can to be in the spotlight. His days of being a great fighter are long gone. Everybody's figured out his style. He hasn't changed at all. He's changed nothing up. Now he's just a punching bag payday. That's it, because he can run his mouth. So people want to see him get beat up. So they pay you know what I mean? But I think the way that he's going about it sends the wrong message to fighters. And you see this rolling down in the amateur level. They think, well, if I run my mouth long enough and hard enough, people will want to fight me.
Right.
Instead of going to the gym, training, proving yourself. So those guys, I refuse to even put on our cards. There's a guy, Dan Bunyan. They put that guy, he is a horrible fighter. He can't fight. He doesn't have any wins. He's just absolutely horrible. But they put him in bare knuckle on professional fights. Then he got beat up so bad they took the video down and refused to have any record of him on there. But basically what the guy does is he goes there and he trolls people. He's like, I'm the biggest, baddest heavyweight in the world. Nobody punches harder than me, blah, blah, blah. And you look him up and he has this shit record. And then he called himself, after 2 amateur fights that he fought, 2 guys that had never fought a day in their life. One of them they took from the bar and put him in the cage. So this guy thought he just, I don't know if he really thought it or if he was just promoting, but I think he was just promoting. And so he goes and he trolls like these killers, and people were giving him chances. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll put you in because you're, you ran your mouth. And then these guys get beat up. To me, that's a super, super shitty way. And that's a super shitty thing to do to the other fighters that are dedicated to this sport.
Right. Wow. Well said. Well said. Do you think that that Conor McGregor will be with Jake Paul in the ring?
Oh, absolutely. It's payday. It's the next payday. And the same thing will happen because Conor McGregor is they won't test for steroids, but he'll be a monster little. Jake Paul can't get below 185. So why would Conor McGregor even? They're totally different classes. He just wants money. He saw Nate Diaz make $750,000, and he knows he could probably make $2 million on that payday.
Win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Wow. Do you think he'd lose against Jake Paul?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, because think about it, man. Once again, do I think Conor has better striking than Nate? Absolutely. I really do. But he's still a small, fought Floyd Mayweather. But Conor McGregor has a even worse gas tank than Jake Paul. And he's smaller than Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul knocked his ass out.
Wow.
Yeah. And Conor would be smiling when he woke up because it was another payday.
Oh, my God. Tell me about September 9th. It's bro, we are 1 day shy of a month away.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming fast. Barry Auditorium. Tell me about the battle in Barry 11.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you about the battle in Barry in 11. Then I'm going to announce something here on Aired Out that nobody knows about yet, too.
Tell me. Go ahead.
Okay, so September 9th is coming real quick. You'll start seeing the TV commercials on NBC5. We've got those going out there. You're going to start seeing the lawn signs. I've already got a few in Barry. And I will start where I've got 100 lawn signs to put out. So we're starting to put that out for the marketing. The front row of VIP tickets is sold out. There's only a couple tables left in the second row. We're selling a lot of tickets. This is a huge, huge show. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but David Ebenhousing is making his MMA debut. Dave Ebenhousing his sister was that Rutland police officer that got killed.
Oh my God.
He's coming up and he's making his debut against a guy from Team Link, Dylan Crowley. So it's Dave has had a really tough road. He's in the same weight class as Ed Collins. And so that weight class is a really, really tough weight class because there's not a lot of people in there.
Right.
So, and Dave's a young, strong, athletic kid. So not a lot of people want to fight him at 205 pounds.
Wow.
It hits different at 205. So in memory of his sister and stuff, he really wanted to take this fight.
Wow.
So, yeah. Ed Brown. Did everybody just watch that crazy MMA fight down for Street Beefs?
Yep.
Ed Brown.
Yep.
He won another title. I think this is his fourth or fifth title that he's got down there.
So Ed's going to be fighting?
Ed's fighting for the 125-pound championship title.
Jesus.
Against Casey Silva. It's going to be a killer fight.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay, I've got that on the poster here in front of me. All right.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
What about the Allen boys? Austin and Cody fighting at it again.
Tell me about this. What happened the last time between those two brothers? Local brothers.
They don't have a beef. The only beef that they have is they talk shit to each other on who the toughest brother is, because they both have similar MMA records. So they wanted to do this fight. So Austin beat the shit out of Cody for the first round. Second round, you could tell Austin didn't have the cardio and he didn't put Cody away. Although he did come close a couple times, he wasn't able to finish Cody. And then an eye poke in the second round caused the fight to be stopped.
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, I think Cody would have gone on to win that fight, because Cody's a cardio machine. And you could be the best fighter in the world, but when your hands are down and your mouth is open because you're sucking wind, it doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
So they're going to try that again. What's another? Oh, so we have Matthew Hayes coming back out of Granite City MMA. He's going to be out there, but even more exciting, his younger sister, Sophia Hayes, is making her MMA debut against Darian Fagan out of Rutland. The same place. She's Dave Ebenhausen's teammate.
Is this the Sophia that we've talked about in the past?
Yes, 100%.
Oh my God, the one that I think the first time I met her, she was 15 or 16 years old.
Yep. Badass. Yeah, she's a tough little girl.
And you told me she could kill me. I'll never forget that.
So that's super exciting. We got those guys. We got Joe McNeil coming back.
Yep.
Our commentator, he's making his pro debut against Jason LePage. Jason LePage won that tough fight, or lost that tough fight to Don Walton.
Yeah.
And then we have Chris Peralt. Chris Peralt's making his MMA professional debut against Daniel Keepers.
Oh my God.
And of course, that'll be a good fight.
What's this Keepers guy like? Does he realize what he's getting into?
No, Daniel Keepers is a super tough guy. He is John Virouette's teammate. John Virouette is heading to the Olympics. He's on the Olympic team for Puerto Rico, I believe.
Okay. Wow.
So no, these guys are not this level. Like Chris isn't. This could go either way. This guy is right on with Chris's level.
Wow. What are you and Lucas saying to Chris right now?
Well, I don't say what I say to Chris.
A month away.
What I say to Chris is exactly what I said to him last night. I was like, "Hey, asshole, I'm 50 years old. Take it easy on me."
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with their planning of fights. I'm an instructor in self-defense and beginners jiu-jitsu. And then I go to jiu-jitsu on Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't even go to the Thai program. Saturdays I go in just to spar so that I can get some cardio in. But I have nothing to do with giving advice to any of the fighters. I don't coach any of the fighters. That's Lucas's job. I'm a promoter, so I don't get into that.
Sure.
I keep myself separated from the fighters.
Yeah, of course.
In that way. So no, we don't even believe it or not. Me and Luke, we talk about a lot of stupid shit. We talk every single day. But the one thing we don't talk about is fight plans, fighters, or anything like that.
Wow.
I actually go to UFAI on Thursdays too. So I go up to United Fighting Arts Institute and I train up there on Thursdays with Mike D and Dennis Sherman. Just so I can get some extra rolls in.
Yeah. Are you going to be getting back in the cage at some point?
If I got back in the cage, it'd be for kickboxing. It wouldn't even be for jiu-jitsu. It'd be kickboxing. I'm too old to do an MMA fight because I can hold my own when it comes to striking. I can hold my own when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I can hold my own when it comes to wrestling. But when I have to fucking hold my own against all three at once, no way. No way. My brain becomes scrambled eggs. Oh
Rex.
my God, I'm getting punched in the face. Oh, no, I'm not. Chris is taking me down.
Tickets, DonnieBrookFightPromotions.com. Get them now while you can.
Yep.
Again,
Or you can go right on to our event page. We have an event page for Battle and Barry 11.
Okay.
We can get that going too.
And again, front row VIP seats already sold out.
Yeah, front row's gone.
Wow.
Those tables sold out. I mean, we have the world title fight going on. We have Keegan going to fight Chris Breerbeck out of Alaska. Chris is 14-3, and Keegan is 3-0. So this is going to be a hell of a fight.
Wow. Tickets still at the door, available at the door at
Yes.
at 6:00 that night.
We always have plenty of general admission tickets. Okay. So it's just more expensive. It's $50 at the door.
Yeah.
Versus buying them from a fighter for $40, you save yourself $10. Or if you buy them right now, that's the sale. You can get them for $40, save yourself $10.
Get on the Donnybrook Fight Promotions Facebook page,
website
event
page.
Yeah. DonnybrookFightPromotions.com, and chances are you're going to know someone who is either a fighter for that night, or someone who knows a fighter that night.
So a shout out, though. I mean, the guys that help us and make this possible are our sponsors and our fans. I mean, our sponsors, Barslow Construction, puts in a shit ton of money into these guys. The Comfort Inn, they match that shit ton of money because they take care of our fighters up there. They are the best guys. Sam Ballard, Comfort Inn, there's a reason why they have 4 and 5 stars in their lobby, is because they treat everybody so good up there. And it's one of the only hotels left here in the Central Vermont area that you can actually rent a room in that's not full of other people.
Yes.
Aired Out, of course, one of our biggest sponsors, local podcasts. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, but Aired Out. We have All the Calls. That's another combat sports podcast.
Amazing.
We got Avery Excavation. Those guys, another big, huge. We picked up, you know who we just picked up? We had the Premier Growers of Vermont, Tall Truck. Those guys are now sponsoring us. And of course, Gustos, those guys, I mean, I can't say enough about those guys.
Yeah.
They come to our shows. They sell our Donnie Tots there. You know, it's always a great time.
Yes, it is.
And then we have Gamma. We have Gamma, the sanctioning body. Those guys, Justin Brown, the founder of Gamma, was just refereeing a UFC fight down in Nashville, Tennessee. So to say I'm excited about September 9th is yeah.
Well, get on it, man. It's a month away, and we want to make sure that that you don't miss this, folks. So don't wait. Get your tickets.
No, definitely don't wait. We're doing a lot more local advertising because what we're finding out is we're bringing in people from New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and people in Barrie and Montpelier don't even know this huge fight is going on.
Yeah.
So we've changed. So Taylor has changed the demographics around a little bit with our advertising, and we're hitting a lot more local people through our advertising.
Yeah. Well, it's good, man. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously working for you. How long's Donnybrook Fight Promotions been around for, anyways?
2015.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good for you.
It wasn't always the you know where we started,
Yeah,
man.
sure.
The old redneck ruckus.
Yes. Yes. Understand well, man. I'm proud of you, Rex. You guys are kicking it, man. It's great.
With that said, and being on Aired Out, I think we need to air something out here about Donnybrook.
Oh boy.
So we've been in negotiations now for a little while, and we have set the deal now.
Yeah.
So we are heading to Donnybrook is opening up another franchise. We are opening up another Donnybrook in Saratoga Springs, New York.
What?
So yeah, man, the matchmaker is. So what we do is we finance the shows. It's a Donnybrook show. We have the same standards, the same sanctioning body, same production crew. We have everything is the same. But they have their own matchmaker. They have their own promoter. They actually own that Donnybrook. It's a franchise of us. We have final say on matchups, because what we don't want to happen is we don't want our name associated with super shitty matchups. So we are going to pride ourselves on being a premier amateur promotion. So when people know that when a Donnybrook's coming to their town, that they're going to be tough fights. Nobody's going to get easy fights. There is no easy fights here. So
wow,
it's really exciting. We're going to, they're going to start, I believe they're going to start with 3 or 4 shows over in the Saratoga City Center. And we're going to do 3 to 4 shows over here. We're going to all avoid summer shows because we live in the north and we don't get enough sunshine. So the last thing I want to do is be stuck inside during the summer. So
smart.
It'll most likely be, we'll do 3 shows. They'll do 3 shows. So you'll be seeing Donnybrook online all the time, you know, because we'll be having a show every 2 months.
Well, we love you, man. And we're going to get you on before the fight. Probably a few times.
In New York, you guys may have heard of him.
Who's that now?
Don Walton.
Oh, it's Don Walton? Really?
Yep, he's the new promoter in New York.
Dude, he is top brass, man.
Yeah, he is.
He really is.
Nice guy. He's young, but I've been, trying to mentor him and just let him know about the politics of promoting and, because what we don't want to create is we don't want to create promoters, the stereotypical promoter. We don't want to have a guy that tells fighters, oh, if you fight for that guy, you can't fight for us.
Sure.
If you're doing that to fighters and you're fucking with fighters' careers, that's not good. So, but everybody has grudges and little digs and stuff like that. They all have that. But as a promoter, you have to look at it as a politician. Did that fighter piss you off and not come? Yeah, he did. But I might have something for him in the future. So it's all about learning how not to burn bridges along the way, not trying to control fighters where they fight and not giving a fuck about what any other promotion is doing. We really
well,
we believe in our brand.
You can't be distracted. You can't be distracted by other stuff. There's a lot of sideshow going on, man. Everywhere.
Oh, there always will be. They're around the world. They're here in our local area. Everything. There's always going to be some sort of competition, some sort of clown trying to do something dumb.
Yeah.
But, we are just moving forward ourselves. And just our belief in our brand alone is, I don't.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, don't overcook that in the microwave. And
coffee. That's like my 20th coffee this morning.
Stay in touch with us, Rex.
All right, buddy.
We're watching your page. We love you, pal.
All right, you take care.
All right, man. Rex Thompson from Donnybrook Fight Promotions. You never know what he's going to say. Again, if you are just tuning in this morning, we have, unfortunately, some more rain that's going to be with us today and tonight, and possibly even flood watch is in effect until late this evening. That could be extended, so keep that in mind. especially, and you know the drill. If you're anywhere near a low-lying area, rivers, streams, brooks, and the whatnot, just be vigilant. Be aware of what's going on. Be listening to your local media. Be watching and listening to the Aired Out page with what's happening for flooding. Some areas might experience it more than others. So just be careful. And maybe this would be a great time to get your sump pump, plugged back in and make sure that it's working. Which is exactly what I'm going to be doing tonight. Just priming them up, maybe getting a little bit of oil in there. Bobby Bartlett from State Farm. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, JD, how are you?
Man, we're doing all right, brother. Listen, thank you so much for jumping on board with us as a presenter. We are honored. We are thrilled to have you. And we have, frankly, a lot to talk about. Everyone has, I think, at some point in the last couple of weeks said the word insurance.
Right. Yeah, 100% true.
So the insurance people in general right now are not the, should we say, the most loved by many in the community, because when a tragedy like this happens, we're under the assumption that because we've been paying our monthly bill for our insurance, whether it's for our car or our home, we're going to be covered. And that is most certainly not always the case.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. So unfortunately, in times like this is when we're forced to actually make a claim on our home or auto or whatever it may be. And, some people have never made a claim before, right? 10, 20, 30 years. Been paying for this long and really feel that way that they are 100% covered by their home or their auto.
Sure.
And really have to learn in a situation that there are exclusions on insurance policies. Unfortunately, in the insurance side of things, we are the bearer of bad news sometimes. In a situation like the current flooding we were experiencing, unfortunately, flood is an exclusion on all insurance policies, whether it's in a homeowner's or renter's business, whatever it may be.
What do you say to people? It has to be difficult to say actually you're not covered.
What can you say, right? With folks going what they're going through right now. So the biggest thing that we can do is try to facilitate the claim and really make sure that everything is really working the way it should be in communications, right? With of course, with FEMA, in many cases, FEMA are requiring a denial letter from insurance companies. So what we're really doing is making sure that we're being that resource to try to then help that along, get that denial letter in folks' hands as soon as they can, educate them on FEMA, make sure that they know they do have options. And then, be here for any questions going forward. The number one thing that we're experiencing now is folks that really want to get to know their coverages. And if I could put anything on the table in this conversation, JD, it's that I definitely 100% recommend you to call your insurance agent and actually go through coverages.
Yeah.
What does coverage A mean? What does coverage B mean? What does this do for me? What is actually covered on my policies? So it, because insurance isn't cheap, right? Like everyone's been paying their hard-earned money. They're working their butts off. Know what you're paying for. That's my number one thing for this, whether it's auto or home. That's number one for me.
Yeah, I bet. And auto and home are obviously they seem like they're on the forefront right now of this tragedy here in Vermont. But the same could be said about your life insurance policy too. I mean, there's a ton of fine print in there, man.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, a lot of folks do just rely on their life insurance through work, right? One of the biggest conversations that we have here is just making sure your family is protected correctly, right?
Sure.
So, typically through work, folks will have like 1 time their salary, maybe 2, right? And you know what? Fantastic, amazing, congratulations, it's cheap, right? But the problem is, if something happens, that protects your family for 1 or 2 years the most, and subtract maybe some, funeral expenses or whatever it may be out of that. What does your family look like in 3, 4, 5, or 10 years without your income coming into the household, right?
Wow.
So that's the conversation. And if folks are actually hearing this and being like, I've never thought of that, you're not alone. A lot of people don't think about that. So that's the one thing we like to do. We have those conversations, life, home rebuild values, not even just, flood, but let's say there's a fire, right? COVID hit, inflation, materials are still through the roof. Is your home insured correctly for what the value is to rebuild? Auto liability. A lot of people can tell exactly what their, deductibles are, right? If they need a windshield or whatever, maybe they get in an accident. But what does limits of liability have to do with you? So JD, do you know what 25, 50, 10 means if you're looking at your declaration page for your limits of liability?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
All right. So state minimums on an auto policy is, your bodily injury and your property damage liability. It was your limits of liability. And the state minimum for the state of Vermont is $25,000 per person. So let's just say you hit a patch of ice, you rear end someone, that person gets hurt, right? It's on you. That means that the state minimum for the $25,000, that is the most that your insurance company is going to pay that person to seek medical help, and then God forbid they ever sue you, right? So where's the rest of that money coming from if there's a $100,000 decision against you?
Sure. It's it's going to be attached to what? Your personal property, your home, maybe.
I mean, you know what? A lawyer's going to find money out of you, like whether it's out of your paycheck, whether it's, levying a home or an auto or whatever it may be. The money's coming from somewhere, right? A quick fix is increasing your liability. A lot of folks just have been at state minimums their entire life because that's what they were set up with initially. We have that conversation here. We will review everyone's deck page. Folks call me for a quote. We'll go through everything, review, we'll educate. And guess what? We're super transparent. We're honest here. If we can't beat those prices.
Sure.
We'll tell you, hey, listen, you have a pretty good setup, but we definitely recommend you increase your liability limits.
Right.
Or, or take a look at your deductibles. They're really high. Or, hey, do you know you don't have rental reimbursement on your policy if your car's in a body shop? Because, we have a lot of great body shops around here, but everyone is inundated because of inflation and availability of parts. A lot of the body shops are about a month and a half to 2 months out. So, would you need a rental car? Is this your only car in the household? Would it be a problem if one of your vehicles was down for a month and a half? So those are things that come up.
This is honestly, this is something that, and I think I'm just like everyone else. We're very busy. We're very distracted with all of the stuff that's going on the sidelines in our lives, and we just kind of assume that as long as we're paying our insurance bill every month, that we're covered. But knowing your coverages, and furthermore, as you say, understanding what they are, not just knowing what they are, but understanding what they are, is critical. This is making me feel like I need to come to you and put down on your desk what I have right now and say, Bobby, talk to me. Yeah. Am I in good shape here? Am I all right? Because, and you've got to, with this old fella, you got to break it down in layman's terms, man.
Yeah. And what we like to do is tell a story, right? Like everyone drives in Vermont weather, right? So everyone understands what it is to drive in snow, right? And that's typically one of the major things that we see for, collision accidents in the wintertime.
Sure.
So, the time is now to act and to make sure that you're covered correctly for how you want to be covered. You don't have to accept what you currently have just because that's what you had. Yeah. You can have what you want. And that's what we tell people. But we tell stories. Hey, if you hit a patch of ice and rear end somebody, like that's on you. That's your responsibility for if someone gets hurt, and then fixing your vehicle minus the deductible.
Right.
So,
let alone your own injuries.
Well, I mean, that's on top of that, and there are medical payments on our policies for that. But having my whole thing with insurance is a lot of insurance related folks get a bad name that we're all just salesmen, right?
Yeah.
Find yourself in an agent that cares, right? Like if you feel like your agent doesn't care and is all about your money, maybe you need a new agent, right?
Sure.
So develop a relationship with your agent. Try to get in contact with them at least once a year to review your policies.
Sure.
If that's not happening, it needs to, just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Your life hasn't changed in a certain way where now your coverages need to be adjusted.
You're getting a lot of questions right now from renters who lost all of their personal belongings in floods.
Yeah.